I'm used to the traditional RPGs, but like, good lord, the battle system, the combat system is actually really, really fun. I didn't think that I would like it, but it's good.
It's totally growing on me. I'm not. I haven't died in like 20 hours now, so that's good.
Yeah, you definitely need a tank. Like the tanks are. I was like rolling through it for a long time. I was like, my god, why do I suck at this so goddamn much? And I went to look online. And I was like, what the fuck's wrong with my like? I'm doing everything that I can to like, brute force this, but it's not working. Nah, dog, you need a tank.
it's wild, and like I didn't quite realize where you're like, oh, if you can get the Griffin, that'll like be a game changer. And I'm like, oh, I've got the little coin or whatever. I went and got the Griffin. Holy crap, that thing just rips through everybody.
It really does.
It's like I'm like 5 hits on this little guy, and it's just going one.
Yep. There's another one later that you can get after you get like the fly ability. Like you get like an ability to fly. Another like familiar you can recruit is like God tier, and it is way better than Griffey if you can believe that.
That's awesome.
All right,
it's just been so fun.
I will leave you to your turn.
It's out.
Oh yeah, so this person that I got a call from today, former coworker. So she was like, I'm gonna give her your info. So then I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. 20 minutes later, I have a text. Hey, I would like to talk to you tomorrow. Give me your schedule. And I'm like, hi, who's this?
Are you a bot?
Maria told me you'd be great for this job. Give me your schedule tomorrow so I can do a call with you. Okay. And I sent her my resume, and she was like, fantastic. I'll call you tomorrow afternoon.
Excellent.
No idea what the job is called or what the work duties entail or pay or anything, but who knows? It's a weird world. I do not like hunting for a job.
I see a meatball in the background there.
Oh, there we go. There's the stream music. I was like, why is it silent? He spoiled us. So.
Yeah, because it flooded over to default.
Slow down.
So now you should be able to hear me.
Be back in a second.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
OBS screwed with you once again.
Yeah, it keeps resetting my audio to default. And it's like, no, just go to the stupid headphones.
Whereas mine always makes me freak out because at any given time I'm on Zoom or Teams or Discord, and like I don't use these when I'm doing like work stuff because it's less professional or whatever. And but it's like, we can't detect any input, and I'm like, what's going on? They can't. Oh, I just have to turn on my headphones.
I told I told Kenny about the bullshit you learned yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, okay, he needs to get out."
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yep. It's no bueno situation.
Yeah, remember this too shall pass like a kidney stone.
Oh yeah, Bill knows about it too.
Yeah,
Yep.
hopefully not as painfully is my only desire.
Remember my kidney stone and you like officer and a gentleman to me out of the shower?
Yep. That was awkward.
Yeah.
You know, you
I
say
go
shit
last.
like that, and all I can
Like
think
kidney
about
stone.
is like dragon's milk. Every single time I think awkward, I just think dragon's milk, and I'm like, God damn it! I was so fucking knocked on my ass. You come in there to check, I'm just butt naked, going like, what? And you're like, oh, you got it. I'm just like, I was getting a little hot. Like,
Well, I warned you.
I collapsed in pain while I was taking a shower, and they were like, he's been in there for like half an hour. And there's a light moaning sound coming out of there.
Don't need to hear it after that point. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to check out Roth's, Angela.
Yeah.
I think that's where we got it from.
That's the like 12% beer or something.
yeah, it's crazy. It's like a 15%,
bur-
I think. Yeah, and it's a
But the
bourbon.
problem is
It's
it's a
just malt
bourbon
liquor
barrel.
at that point, right?
Yeah.
It knocked
Steeped
him on his
in,
ass, though.
steeped in bourbon. Brewed in the devil's
They have
asshole.
it on Instacart. I'll just get it shipped to me right now.
Dragon's Milk?
Yeah.
Where's Instacart? What's that?
People who do grocery shopping for you and bring it to your house.
Oh.
That's okay. I got Burger King delivery, and I always said that would be the hallmark of the apocalypse.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure that my prediction is correct.
Well, when I don't want to take the 3 kids to the grocery store, when it's just me, I'm like, I'll just put together an order. Or I put together an order on Friday night for 8 a.m. delivery, and then at 8 a.m. I get a doorbell, and I come downstairs, and all my groceries are waiting for me. That's very nice.
Man alive. Yeah, nope. That goes right alongside the vodka incident. That's when I stopped drinking that shit. Going literally blackout drunk. Not gonna ever do that twice.
Yeah,
I should
that's
get
what happened
Andrew
me
to
with
drink it.
vodka.
Andrew doesn't care about his liver.
Nope.
Like, I think he's hoping to donate it to science.
I think
Pristine
Andrew's.
liver.
I think Andrew's liver doesn't care about Andrew's liver.
That's true.
I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised if he actually did
Ivar
negotiate
is
a
just him
scientific effort.
projecting.
Yeah. Wild and crazy shit. Wild and crazy.
Am I over 21 years of age? Yes.
Verify that shit.
Dude, when I was 14, I was like,
As
I'm
much of an
18.
age gate as Pornhub. It's a pure honor system.
That's kind of like
Pure
most
arson.
most every porn site on the net is like that. It's like, you're over 18, right? They're like, yes, and they're like, cool, and they just let you in.
Remember when you used to have to like enter a credit card to do age verification?
Barely.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a
The,
thing for a minute, and then it wasn't.
There's a website that's all about beer advocates, and like, Dragon's Milk scored a 91 out of 100.
For good reason. It tastes amazing. It sabotaged me entirely.
Which kind? Dragon's Milk White, Dragon's Milk Reserve.
Just Dragon's Milk. It was just
This
the
is
Dragon's
just
Milk.
Valera.
Yeah. We just started at the baseline, man.
Apparently,
The
it's
Reserve. That looks very dark.
apparently, it's in Gladstone or Corvallis.
That's right.
or Vancouver.
You said that it was something kind of local around here too, and that was like, oh, we should try it out. And I'm like, sure thing. And then just like it just
Well,
fucked me up.
that's where you learn the adage that when Bill says I should slow down, you listen. And
Yes.
I remember that point of the night when it's like, oh, I should slow down on this, and you're like, oh yeah, fine. Oh.
Yeah, I can handle it. I got onto my halfway through my second one, and it was sort of like everything in me was like, you made a mistake. Like,
Well, now I gotta check it out.
It's good.
Find Dragon's Milk near you. This podcast
Go on a pilgrimage.
episode brought to you by Dragon's Milk.
I'd let him sponsor me.
It's 0.3 miles away from my house.
This episode is sponsored by Dragon's Milk. We only made it halfway through the podcast.
You guys remember that?
Shadows!
You can't advertise this location. It doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
it's
that's-
at Rayleigh's. I'm like, that Rayleigh's is still a pile of concrete and lumber.
That's hilarious.
It's a little ambitious.
Yeah, man.
Oh, maybe I'll go get some tomorrow. Maybe I'll have something to celebrate tomorrow.
Yeah, you will.
You'll only need one, especially considering if you have a self-announced lightweight. I'll tell you this right now: 1/3 of that shit should be
Oh, it's
toasty.
11%.
Yeah, it doesn't hit
You
like
think
11%.
that, but the bourbon apparently gets seeps into you.
Yeah, it does not hit like 11%. It hits like 35.
Well, I
Uh.
realize that my ideal thing is like a Yeti, because I just want to nurse a beer like over like 3 hours, and just having it stay cold in like a Yeti tumbler or something like that would be ideal.
Yeti.
Great cups. Love it for coffee. Brought to you by Yeti.
There's to me. I see a dog.
Yeah.
Oh, I get someone who wants to sponsor my podcast,
Oh, cool.
but they want to be on the podcast too, and I'm like, are you just paying for a spot as a guest? And how do I
Hey,
feel
what-
about that?
Give
I
me
don't think I
money.
care.
Yeah.
I'll take your money. Like, I don't think I care, but like, yes, for $2,000 you can talk to me for 20 minutes. Sounds great.
That's a great return on investment.
All you suckers have been talking to me for free.
Yeah, now you know what your time is worth.
Yeah.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Right.
Well, I got a thing today that someone was like, "Would you like to monetize your podcast?" I was like, "Sure. How do I monetize my podcast?" And they're like, "Just, announce us at the beginning and end of each podcast." I'm like, "Okay, what's your product?" And it was like, Bob's Cigar Shack or whatever. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna.
You're a health
Yes.
streamer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, by the way, get your cigars here, but stay healthy.
I'm like, lung cancer and tobacco use is exponentially worse in rural areas. I am definitely not going to advertise that sort of product to a rural market.
Wow, what a contradiction.
I mean, 10 years ago, healthcare might have done it because they were getting paid for treatment more than they were getting paid for prevention, but now it's about prevention. Your dentist gets paid more for you not having cavities than they get paid for fixing your cavities. But that's like literally since 2015.
Well, maybe something's starting to fix itself. So Drew said he was going to be a little bit late. Do we want to bounce into some of this crap before he gets here, or hold out until he gets in?
Dinoceros. What?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. Oh, gotcha.
Ni no Kuni.
You know, Cooney.
I'm starting to feel like some of these guys that have like their whole setup. What the hell was it in Serenity? The guy that monitors the entirety of the galaxy on all his monitors. I'm starting to get this Hydra effect.
Nice.
Is this music you're playing is royalty free?
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Good
Comes
music.
from Monster Cat.
This is D. He was recording it earlier today.
I wish. If I had a sound like this, I would sell the shit out of it.
You can play any of the music that I made in 1999 to 2001 when I fancied myself a DJ.
That makes me curious.
I hope you like BT because it sounds exactly like BT. And I
Yeah.
know you like BT.
Yep, I'd play it all here if I had the ability. They want to like claims, shut me down.
Maybe
I don't know how late Drew's gonna be, so I don't know if I want to chance it too far.
Well, we're wandering through a desert, and we just
we're gonna go
decided
to,
to
the temple.
become friends with an outsider, or at least to not mutually destroy the outsider.
Well, at the moment, you guys are playing the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of game.
Right.
Varric's charged up his bracelet. I fully forgot about that, and I was watching Twitch, and the stream that I was watching finished, and then it like loaded like next in queue, and it loaded that, and I had like gone to make a sandwich or whatever, and I came back and I just see myself like, I'm like, what am I doing? I don't remember that at all.
Isn't that crazy how you can do something and then you come back and you're like, what the fuck? Like, you just don't recall doing it.
Let's see. I think we are in the wasteland right now, right?
Yeah, you were headed towards a temple, if you recall, being guided by apparently Shiny Eyes or Void, since it's difficult to know which name you wanted to give him.
Wow, we went with Void. That was a good one. He said he wanted to be Void, so.
Yeah, in a sense, he made, actually Scott brought it up in the last one. He was just like, first he wants to be here, then he doesn't. And it's like, yeah, I mean, like, whenever you were basically in between existence and non-existence, how do you know which one you want to be? So he's like making contradictory statements about being alive, like wanting to exist and wanting not to exist. He doesn't know which is better. So, yeah, you guys were headed that way.
Yeah. But, see, so we have, who's with us right now is, there's Bill, Scott, myself. I want to say Travis Touchdown, but it's not Travis. What's his name?
Dravis?
Dravis.
Travis touchdown. I am seriously like, damn, do I need to get that?
So. Oh, and we
I'd
also
love
have
to know more
what's his
heroes.
face? The
Solteris.
Terrace, yeah.
Yeah, the little pixie that's been following you guys around.
Yeah.
Or that I should say, leading you.
There we go. So I guess Ivar will be quiet as we move along.
Well, in his tradition...
Drinking from his never-ending flask.
Yeah.
Oh, the never-ending Bloody Mary.
Right. He had a Bloody Mary the whole time last time.
By the way, I'm loving The Magicians. That series that was on Sci-Fi. But like one of the main characters has a never-emptying flask.
I do believe that came from a book, and the book series is stunning.
Yeah, the book series is supposed to be great.
I've read 2 of them. It is. I need to get to the last. Because the way that the second one ends is like, oh man. Made me angry. I actually had to approach Kenny, the guy who gave it to me, to start with. It's like, there's a 3rd book, right? He's like, you like delayed? I'm like, there's a 3rd book, right? Like, and then he goes like, yes, there's a 3rd book. I'm like, thank God.
Not bad of an end, huh?
Oh, I don't know. I can't say a damn thing. It's just, you have to have a 3rd book with the way that ended. Just, you fucking have to.
It's like the same thing as like, they're jumping over a cliff and it fades to black.
Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah. I mean, if a cliffhanger also has like a thumb in your butt, like that's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you can't leave. You either got to figure out where it's going or what it's doing, because you can't just leave it where it's at. So,
I feel like the show definitely has parts that I feel like they just skipped something, or I wasn't paying attention, because all of a sudden it's like, it's been 3 weeks and a character has a new scar or has like perfected something or whatever, and I'm like, did I like black out for half an hour? Like, did they just not explain?
No,
this
they
at all?
gloss
Like,
over
all of a sudden
lot.
they're foxes.
Yeah.
and yiffing out in the snow, and
Yeah.
then they're not. And
They're yipping.
what? And they were gone for 6 months, or
Yeah,
okay.
if you read the book, a lot of that makes a hell of a lot more sense. They had to skip over a
I
hell of a
bet
lot.
it does.
Yep.
Yep.
So, headed towards the temple. Being led, of course, by this Void character, Solterra's kind of keeping close by, and everyone's kind of doing what they need to do.
Did we already hear about what kind of creature we're fighting, or no? Or he doesn't know him? I can't remember.
Zotzael. It's an outsider.
Yeah, the realm was under attack by Zazael.
But Void wants to like hide out here, and it's like, please make this other one go away.
More or less. He says that he needs to
Yes.
not participate in the combat as he has to concentrate on the illusion he's constructed.
Right.
What
It's like
kind
I
of-
called dibs.
What kind of how big is this guy? What's his powers? Like, did we already ask those questions? If not, I can ask in character.
No, nobody's asked those questions.
Okay, so we're how far
How big
away
is this guy?
Well, you guys are approaching the temple. It's, it's probably 60, 70 yards that way, so it's going to be a short walking distance before you finally get to the actual entrance.
Oh, okay. So, Void, what's the deal with this guy? What can we expect?
What have you encountered when it comes to the others of my own brethren?
Each one's been a unique flavor of horror.
Yeah, different brands of nightmare fuel.
He processes what's being said. Doesn't seem like he's catching the idiosyncrasy of what you're saying quite well enough, but he's
Every one of them's been unique.
like, well, you can expect something similar to that, I suspect. If you're worried about your mind, you should be. It will be the first thing that he will try to attack and grab.
Oh, goody.
So, the usual. Does Zotzael like to do anything particular? I mean, what's Zotzael's fancy?
He has a particular fascination with pain.
Sounds like right up your alley, Colt.
And he just see him just do this.
I mean, every time we go to fight, you've been bleeding from the crown. What else am I supposed to think?
All I can hear in my head, that was Mother's idea! You're like,
Yeah.
Actually, that's what I was going to say. So, stole my thunder on that one. So it's just, that was Mother's idea, not ours.
Creepy. Anything else you can tell us about Zotzael of note? Any features that, since you're asking us to take him down, it would be good to know what we're walking, 30 yards now, what we're walking into.
I don't have everything that you might be asking for. All I can tell you is that he has evolved since he's emerged here and he's had time. And as you're aware, time for you is different here. It's more like home for us. It's distorted, non-linear. But he's had plenty to be able to hone new skills that he's been developing, and I don't know for certain what those are. But I can tell you that he is not to be trifled with, so you should kill him quickly. Or at least get him trapped in whatever that is. Looking at the weapon that's being carried by Barrick.
He should cannon.
Well,
I suspect that if he's in good health, it will be much easier for him to resist. You should try to have him as far disabled as you can possibly manage before making an attempt to
We're
use
playing on
that.
Pokemon rules. We got it.
Pokemon.
She's
You
saying that
wouldn't
in
get the
character,
weapon.
by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just
I
like
mean, we
shakes
know
his
she
head.
like plays mobile games, right?
oh, and then Ivar's like, oh, I know, I've got Master Balls!
Got it.
Sorry, I had to channel Drew for him.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm sure he appreciates that.
When you arrive at the entrance of the temple, there is It's just kind of a square, like the brick and the way it's composed. It's more like ruins than anything else. The sand is blowing up over the top. There's a big mound of it. You don't see any structure up and behind, so whatever is in here likely descends further into the earth. But deeper down. It's not going to go up. There doesn't seem to be any kind of actual lighting to work with.
Oh, this is great. Deep dark dungeon. Guess what? The flashlight's gonna go out at the wrong time.
Well, I think Barrack's our flashlight, so I hope it doesn't go out.
I mean, I don't.
I mean,
I can
do
just
you,
see infrared.
but do you got a flashlight in there somewhere? Just
I mean, and he one of his little fingers has a light on it. His little tool hand.
Yep.
and he goes, knew it.
I mean, I've also got a screwdriver and a bottle opener, but those aren't super helpful.
You've got Dravis, who's been sort of mostly armored up this entire time. He lets the helmet, appear around his head. He's like, well, this feels about natural and correct. We might as well get going. Solteris starts zipping around the front entrance. He's like, this place is not good! Like that, and goes stopping dead center. I was like, I want to stay and watch him! Like that, just pointing at the, your new companion who's trying to be leading you down here. Of course, he just cocks, just a ridge of his brow. And he's like, now you! Do anything weird or funny, I'll take your eye. He's like, duly noted.
And then, Soltaris.
And he's just like, yeah, what?
He's just as dangerous. Have fun! And then just kind of starts...
I'm dangerous. When nobody responds, he's like, I am!
Chihuahuas are the scariest of dog breeds.
I mean, that is a fair point. They are the Chihuahuas of the Fey race. Huh, I hadn't thought about that before. And he just kind of flicks open his hand and has like a glowing orb that he just tosses above them, just to kind of have an ambient light that follows them.
Mm-hmm. These stone stairs definitely lead down into the depths, like you had expected. It doesn't seem to carry any kind of familiar appeal. I mean, most of you being educated, you would actually have references back to maybe ancient Egypt or anything like that, because these realms seem to be a mishmash of human experience most of the time, but this place seems to be much more alien. So, it's,
Stargate was right.
I was gonna say Stargate.
I can tell certain people watching certain things. It's starting to come through.
But just the first movie, not the actual series.
Yeah, right. First movie's great. So, yeah, you take the steps downward. The light is illuminating everything. There is an odd composition to all of the stonework that begins to change and, become a lot more strange as you get further down. There are kind of odd crystalline formations that are beginning to form within where the mortar would be, and it sort of veins its way through almost like a living entity up until the point where it is all this a very strange kind of dark, almost like volcanic glass with a slight glow, a little green kind of emanation that comes from out of that every so often, but it's almost like a pulsing living creature in a way. And it's something familiar. You remember seeing it whenever that incredibly enormous tower was created by that one individual, the leader of these outsiders, before he ended up trying to crash it down on everyone.
That's her reaction right now.
Yeah.
That's Cult's reaction too. He just goes, huh. Oh, okay. Well, that's on a list of our bad ideas. This isn't the worst.
You're setting that bar pretty low.
Well, have you met us? Drew's waiting for Discord to update.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it had the update. We can have you describe it again and see Drew's or Ivar's initial reaction.
True enough.
I mean, Eric, let's be honest. Do we want to go through the laundry list of our spectacular moments?
You know, there are times when I really regret stepping out of that diner. I know you weren't there, but Riv knows what I'm talking about. Just a simple man trying to chew through what was left of his pension.
Travis just kind of
Yeah.
gives you a glancing look and goes like, "What do you mean?"
Retired cop.
Yeah, but what about the diner? What's
I
that
was
about?
in a diner, got into a brawl with a local, stumbled outside and into a bigger battle ensuing with Riv and Ivar and some other robotish sort of ancient. I don't really understand what he was that was there, and then my world was shattered. I
You
was
do
used
seem to
to
be a bit of a
thugs
magnet for
and
this shit.
bit of the
Looks
old
like he's got a
cyber psycho.
disadvantage in there.
I was mostly meat at that point.
You actually hear him chuckle a little bit. He's like, "That's all right, okay."
And I'm too stupid enough not to take Douglas's money. So,
I mean, he does make a compelling offer, and
and
eventually I will get to bring down the federal government, I'm sure. What's left of it.
I mean, it usually takes me about a decade to forget how much I hate Douglas by the time I do something for him. So, when we're done with this, I'll be good for another decade.
What is the beef between you and him anyway?
Huh. Me and Douglas?
Yeah.
He pays really well, gets me into really shitty situations, and says, hey, fix it. And I fix it. I survive. Unfortunately, people around me die, but hey, you guys have lasted longer than the others.
Yeah. The light that's coming off the orb is starting to become refracted in very strange ways. Think of like near inverted like electromagnetic spectrums coming through in light waves. It's bouncing off and creating odd shadows, and you know, there's a strange kind of physics that are starting to occur here that's kind of warping everything.
Occult roll.
Go ahead.
1d19, right?
Yeah, D19. Rocket.
25.
Very nice, very nice. Well, your guess is that you're dealing with something that is akin to maybe perhaps solid entropy. It's kind of like the natural chaos, which actually starts to give you more thoughts as to what might be going on. Everybody refers to them as outsiders, but this kind of like dawning realization is sort of hitting at the other point. Maybe they're not so separate. Maybe the connectivity to this world, if they were truly an outsider, how would they ever manage to make it to this universe or survive or any of that? How could they function? And
So John just starts kind of manifesting those thoughts. He just is looking around, just kind of looking at things, slowing down. And when he's walking, he goes, huh. I mean, entropy given coherent thought? No. Sentient entropy. I mean, that's fair.
That sounds terrifying.
Well, I mean, he gestures like you're supposed to understand the effects that are going on. So we'll look at all this.
I mean, it makes as much sense as anything else.
I mean, if abstract concepts like gods can manifest into existence based off of the collective will of humanity or otherwise, thoughts and ideas, then why can't entropy? Entropy is just a thought or a concept. Why can't it manifest sentience? Which, by the way, should terrify the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Just
I'm-
conjecture. Conjecture
I'm
side.
much more comfortable with evil.
As you're talking, Colt, you spooked Riv, and she activated one of her runes.
Says, one, kind of prefer the entropy, sentient entropy. Yes, it's nightmare fuel. But frankly, let me put this very, very clear. And he's like walking backwards at this point, looking you dead in the eye. You never want to meet true evil. And then he turns around. Doesn't even explain it.
I'm not saying I want to meet it. Just saying.
As
Well,
you guys are talking,
guess-
Riv like chucks off her right gauntlet, and the Iron Golem just like transmutes right behind her. It's like, okay, fuck this. Yeah.
Hey, it's the Iron Midget. Welcome,
Yeah,
buddy.
5-footer.
Well, not the Iron Giant, so.
Yep, the downloading update 1 of 1 took me a few minutes the other day. Actually, I had to do like 14 updates the other day to Discord.
I've just not clicked the button.
Yeah, it might take it a second. I'm not sure. Well, regardless. Yeah, so he leaves it with that. The pathway down becomes much more rattlesnakey. Accurate. You know, it becomes much more labyrinthian, and then it becomes even less natural comparative to what you were expecting. The crystalline structures take on a more ordered form, but at chaotic stages. You start to run through things that seem to almost appear, or at least look like, you know, like those optical illusions from back in the day, where artists would portray, you know, winding stairwells going into and out of each other at strange angles, where they would become merged and submerged into others. You know, and the golem, of course, doesn't help much because it's clanking around in here and it's bouncing off these crystalline walls, making all kinds of interesting noise and echoes.
Tank.
Viv, let it not be said that the element of surprise is never on your side.
All right, fine. She actually tells the golem to just run ahead. Tink, 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 tink.
Hey, Kool-Aid.
And then you do something that's stupid. But
Dude,
I don't know.
these
I
outsiders
don't
know
know.
they're coming.
I don't know if I care anymore. And then he just keeps on walking.
So Barrick, he's got the special gun, not his regular
Mm-hmm.
sidearm. So he's, you know, in this kind of frustrated, like trapped cat pacing sort of thing, because he can't use what he's got to shoot any threat that pops up. He's got to save it. But he's doing his full spectrum scanning. You know, looking around. I think I've got, what do I have? Image enhancement, ultraviolet, thermographic, infrared.
He's going plaid.
God, I love the redone drawing of this. There he goes.
Am I on?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
there
Hey,
he
welcome
is.
in.
So I keep getting a Java error on Discord and then it shuts down.
Maybe
You need more
reinstall it.
coffee.
that was perfect with the cup, by the way.
But you're working now.
So, how you doing?
I'm very tired.
I imagine.
I can use some vodka.
In-person back to school night.
I had 10 parents show up.
Out of how many?
I have 186 students.
Oh, that's not very many.
That sounds
Not at all.
accurate, really, though.
Oh, it's very accurate for seniors. My
Oh.
class of some parents are like, I want to have a parent-teacher conference. I'm sorry, we're not allowed to have those. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Yeah, I'll just send you my Google Slides. You look at them.
Exactly. So I apologize. Where are we? And
Well, so we've entered the temple, and the strange thing is it
Deepest,
looked like.
darkest dungeon.
I wish I had a voice like that to narrate, though, because damn.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Yeah, not the radio host one, but
Oh,
yeah, just the really somber, like it was like danger lurks around every corner. It's like so freaking deep and foreboding all the
it's
time.
drippy. Like
Yeah.
the voice drips.
I just love it because of the way it sounds. It's perfect. Anyway, so
Oh, you died again. Well,
yeah. So entering this temple, everyone's kind of realized that things are not going to be kind of correct. There's been some subtle conversation back and forth between Dravis and Colt and Barrick, but more or less there was a theory that was thrown around that this was somehow or another not too separate from the universe that somehow or another it was fully intelligent or, a capable form of entropy that has grown its own intelligence, which is what the Outsiders might actually be. It's just a theory that he was throwing out. On the other hand, the dimensions of this place are beginning to twist and contort and become all kinds of screwy. The stairway and hallway that you have all been wandering in, you've got an orb of light that was generated by Colt and a flashlight out the finger from Barrick as they're kind of monitoring everything.
I'm sure Dravis has on the end of his rifle or something, right?
Yeah. Well, he's kind of got something similar, but he doesn't really need it because he's got like that night vision inside of his helmet, so he usually doesn't actually have to have a flashlight. But yeah, the light's bouncing off these crystalline walls and floors in very strange ways and almost inverted electrospectrum type wavelengths. Yeah, hopefully he didn't crash. It looks like he got stuck, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's just true. He crashed.
Yeah. I think Drew's out. No. He might have to reinstall.
Oh.
Yo, okay, you good?
Yep.
Did you miss anything, Drew? He's just staring, and the music is making it really creepy. It's like a chat roulette failure.
Ivar has checked out.
Okay. Getting a little
This
bit.
is like when I was trying to play from the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was slowly shutting off because of power.
Oh my god, he was a green screen this entire time.
It turns out that Drew is actually one of Colt's personalities that has been
reabsorbed.
Full Photoshop OBS.
There we
I
go.
like it.
He's a little bit back now. Oh, stuck again. No! Technical difficulties in the middle of a game.
No.
Drew is back.
This Ivar just is glitching in and out.
Yeah, he's phasing in and out of reality.
Oh my god.
I mean, in the it's not even 1 frame a second at this point. It's like 0.003.
Oh, he can't hear anything.
Oh, that's weird.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. It might just be worth it to call in from your phone.
You could also turn off the incoming video.
Yeah, or just turn off your video.
If you could hear us.
Got some weird vibes coming
Yeah,
from
not
like
the
the
ominous
music. The ominous music and then like the written words up there. It's like, what are you saying?
I'm getting intermittence of what you guys are saying, but
Well, I can hear you now at least. You're being consistent.
I have
What do you have? Oh God, what does he have? What does he fucking have?
Syphilis.
I can't hear you guys. You guys like come in really fast, and I get a really speed.
So
So
here's
Ivar's
the-
in a time loop. Good job, D. He
just see if
described
we can
entropy
fix it.
so well, it
turn
fucked
off your
through.
video. Turn off your video, guys. That might help his bandwidth because he might be trying to see our videos.
I wonder what's happening with his bandwidth at this point. Okay, it's turning off video. Boinky.
You just get to see our beautiful icons.
Okay, any change?
Drew? Drew? Are you there?
Let's just turn off all of our microphones too and see if that.
It was then that the boys knew that Drew was in trouble.
That's a terrifying GIF, though.
Yes, it is.
But doesn't Drew have the fancy internet now? Come on.
Yeah. Hey, you heard that? Apparently. Can you hear us clearly now?
I don't know.
Typhon.
Oh, we're all speaking like chipmunks. Super fast speed.
Yeah, it's
I
trying.
still
It's trying to
remember
keep
when
up.
Dee's voice was so low, but not
Well, that wasn't
slow.
even a bandwidth issue. It was.
That was the
I
best.
think it must have been an encoding issue. It had to have been an encoding issue.
It
Yeah,
was the
Yes.
absolute
Can you guys
best.
hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this is really interesting. My internet speed test is perfectly fine, but Discord's internal voice connect keeps dropping. I mean, it's weird. It's like it's a. I'm at 22. I'm at 55. Now I'm at 5. Now I'm at 0, 24. I don't know what's going on with Discord, but I'm wondering if it's an internal. If I need to unload it and reload.
Well, that's why if you have the app on your phone, maybe you could just call in from your phone to listen in.
I was having problems with the app on my phone too.
Oh, of course.
So I don't know because I'm. Let me run my speed test again.
As the ominous music comes in.
Yeah, I'm
perfectly.
sitting at normal. I'm maxed out.
That's so weird.
Yeah, so we're looking at an application.
Yeah, what was
thing.
weird is. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever this update was, took it forever to get in, and now I'm having all these problems.
Have you
I'm
restarted
looking at
Have you restarted the PC since actually getting the update in?
Yes, I have.
Mm.
And I restarted my router just in case if I thought that was the case earlier.
That's smart. You seem to. Are we still coming in as chipmunks to you?
No, you're back to normal speed.
Well, it may have been us turning off our video finally caught you up to like.
I'll be
normal
curious.
speed.
Let me turn on mine.
Let's break it.
Yeah. Well, that's the core of anything else. Okay, so is it worse or better?
No, you're lagged out now.
Like my face or my voice?
Oh, it's so worse now. We're back to. I can hear your voice, but you are completely frozen on the screen.
Oh, that's weird, dude. That's super weird.
Yeah, I wonder what's going on. If we'd had time beforehand, it would have been good to do the troubleshooting. But we could
Yeah.
do this. I mean, I don't mind
Yep,
listening
this is
to
fine.
beautiful voices. Now we're full podcast now.
This is the radio version of Shadows.
Coming to you live in your ear holes.
Welcome to the theater of the mind.
Welcome to the surface of value.
Oh my
What
god.
I'll do is I'll just put the visualization at the main point, just right dead center. Okay, so everybody can hear me. So what did you hear last, Drew? Where were we?
I lost you within 30 seconds of me coming on and complaining about my work.
Oh no!
So we had entered some intelligent temple. There was an outsider, and then the outsiders messed with Ivar's head.
Okay, so this is what was going on. The outsider that led us to the temple gate met us through. Solteris, the little pixie creature, decided to stay outside at the doorway, guarding it for some reason. The rest of us have traveled inside, which it continuously goes down. And there is a strange kind of transformation that begins to occur because the stone and the brick and everything else like that from within becomes more and more crystallized with some odd qualities and properties to it. It starts to bend light and doing inverted refractions and such like that it makes it very strange. Sound is bouncing off the walls and making some odd, just making odd reverberations and echoes throughout the whole place. And then it finally becomes pretty much entirely crystallized, sharing, former structural similarities to what it probably was, but entirely encapsulated in whatever this stuff is. Meanwhile, Colt was kind of checking things out and realized that this could be actually manifested entropy in and of itself, a sort of chaos that is manifested on the other end of the spectrum, where, if you look at the universe as a polarized element where everything in the middle can actually exist because they're not part of the extreme, between ultra order and ultra chaos, this is kind of where everything is. The universe is kind of composed of these sorts of things. And he kind of theorizes that this is basically hyper-intelligent entropy that you're dealing with here, which is what would explain the outsiders and how they could actually continue to survive in a universe or in some circumstance that is entirely alien to them and alien to you, in a sense.
So Barrick wanted to kind of like extend his senses
I've lost
out,
you
again.
No.
It's the entropy.
Try and get a better understanding of the crystalline structure, like if it's resonating at a certain frequency or anything like that. But I rolled a 1 on my awareness check.
Gotcha.
Oh, nope.
All right. So yeah, everybody's moving on down, and again, like I said, the light is kind of moving differently, changing and becoming much more weird. Same thing with the physical structure; it's all kind of warping out of control.
Is it like lattice work, or is it more organic looking?
Both. If you could imagine sort of organic formations coming out in a crystalline way. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
But there is definitely a presence here, and it's getting stronger as you guys move through. Even if you take arbitrary angles or corners or turns, even you have no means of really understanding exactly where to go in the labyrinth, but you're following your gut, and it's starting to lead you closer and closer to something that feels almost like it is disturbed, or at least a disturbance that is actually messing with whatever this wasteland is, whatever its composition is. There's something that is alien here, and it's becoming more and more alien by the second.
How is the temperature?
Mild. It's
is
actually
it changing
not hot,
at all
not
from
cold.
the outside?
It's just kind of like even keel, like almost unnoticeable.
Humidity?
Sort of dry.
I'm envisioning, are we walking into an egg chamber that's going to be this tropical, humid thing with pulsing whatevers?
Turn off your camera. Oh, you got it.
So yeah. There's no pulsing things quite like that, but you do see that strange eerie green glow starting to push through a lot of the material. So you come into a chamber at one point where it seems pretty open. There's a lot of working stairwells in and around, but there's a pseudo-geometric type formation for all of this. And in that, you're more or less addressing a sort of a chasm at the center, multiple strata of all kinds of crystalline formations, and so forth. Well, there's Drew. I can see him moving around. I can't hear him though.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, let's try it again.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
No problem. Again, what did you hear last?
Oh my gosh.
Donk.
Wah wah.
Are the structures, do they look like there's a fractal pattern or anything like that to them? Or
You
more
assume-
chaotic?
You would assume that they have to have some kind of, net geometric makeup structurally, because even for something out of pure chaos, it couldn't exist quite without it. However, the feeling is almost akin to a lot of what you'd get whenever you get in contact with Ivar, and that strange paradoxical sensation where things are just kind of like coming apart. But somehow or another, it's the opposite. It's where things are coming apart that pushes them together.
Any of you magic-y types got a read on this place? Because it's giving me the heebie-jeebies.
26 to kind of see if the cult can understand anything to the pattern. Like, is it enhancing the energies? Is it part of some greater structure that can be controlled or manipulated?
Well, you start to examine it, and with the various feelings and the rest of it, you actually hear something in the back of your mind, very, very quietly. She's not out, she hasn't left, but you hear your mother's voice in the back of your head, just basically going like, not unlike where we were born again. Something of this is familiar, very familiar.
He just kind of stops dead in his tracks, completely frozen. His head is up, his eyes are closed, and goes, how is it exactly the same, Mother?
It is not the same, just familiar. I suspect that what we've been exposed to is a lesser form, if that can be even imagined.
Oh, so you guys are just hearing him just talking to the ceiling at this point, because he's just exasperated and not keeping the dialogue, inner monologue. So. Similar good or similar worse?
Similar in the sense that I can understand exactly what it is that we were faced with when everything began, but not so similar in that it must be far more complex than what even the Cenobites even know.
Oh.
It may be that this is not the first time they've wreaked havoc on the natural world. In fact, I assume that it probably is not just likely, but absolutely true.
Well, the world keeps on turning. And now everyone's hearing him just sing that song.
Dravis is looking around trying to get an idea of everything. It's like, this place is all kinds of fucked up, but you can feel that, right? Like something's wrong.
Oh no. And he's still looking up, and his hand goes up with his finger wagging just a little bit, kind of, and Draves says, no. it's actually so much worse.
Yeah, I can handle worse.
What's my golem like running into anything? Is it scouting ahead?
Well, in this case, there's not much to scout ahead towards. Like I said, there's a chasm towards the center, a large sort of open space with various like levels in and around that same chasm. You are on one level, and then you're looking downward, and there's a strange eerie light that's going all the way down into the depths. And there could be a path. It looks like there are several means to do this, to get down, but it doesn't seem inherently obvious.
So the cult, his head's still up and his eyes are still closed because he's still conversing with Mother. He says like, oh, okay, so I know I always regret asking this. How can you help?
Make sure that you don't trust your instincts. This is the one place where trusting them will likely get you killed. Do the thing that makes no sense, and that is the thing that will accomplish what you need. And then her voice fades into the dark.
And then he just kind of opens his eyes and throws his arms out and goes, Because that's fucking helpful. And then he goes, okay, so this is the best advice that I can give you. He turns around. This is as close to the place where I was made. Actually, it's more sophisticated, which means it's worse. And by worse, I mean, I wouldn't blame you if you ran from here screaming. Second, don't follow your instincts. And he just kind of looks at Dravis.
He's just like back, like, don't follow your instincts.
Mm-hmm. Do what's unexpected.
And he just kind of looks at everybody else. And he's like, okay. He ends up holstering his rune lock, looks over the chasm, he's like, fuck it. Like that, and just goes off the edge.
Hey, I was gonna do that. Riv actually said that.
I mean, my instincts are to run screaming, so.
And then John's going, the fuck did he take that away from that? I mean,
As you're saying that, Riv said, "Hey, I was gonna do that." She got on top of her golem, and the golem with her on top, like, just jumped off the cliff too.
All right, so down they go.
and then John just pivots with his hand in his mouth still agape, going, Did I tell them to jump off the goddamn cliff?
No, you did not.
Just checking. Just checking.
And Barrick's gonna say, how far down are they? Or are they out of sight?
They're kind of, at this point, with the amount of conversation, they're gone.
So Barrick's just gonna say over comms, you guys alright?
You just hear it's like, yeah, like that. You just hear like something in the background, like large amounts of shuffling. You're not sure exactly what's going on, but he does reply. Technically, if there's any kind of ground or anything like that, he should be bug spat.
Alright.
Oh.
And Barrick's just gonna step off.
And then John is just, I mean, the cult is just sitting there going, and how am I the one who goes in and out of mental institutions? No, fine, fuck it. If we're gonna die, we're gonna die. And then he just kind of steps off as well.
Yep. Everything in your person telling
And
you not
roll
to
up
do
your
that.
characters.
It just killed everybody, you know.
You're getting bored with it. Okay, everybody, 10d10s. Let's get
Yep.
going.
Orb of Annihilation right at the very bottom. Oh, anyway.
Orb of Annihilation, is that a thing?
And
Yes.
now we get to
Yes.
we get to start the new adventure.
DMs
Suburban-
just kill their
The
characters off?
suburbanite adventure.
There was a sad story where a DM tried to create a very complex, interesting thing, and everybody decided they were going to jump into this pit, but there was an orb of annihilation at the bottom, which means that they just become disintegrated. But he wasn't even trying to get him to do that. He was trying to get him to do something else entirely. But no, so you guys leap off. So this is the experience of everyone. You go jumping into this chasm, you feel the pull of gravity, and it starts like hurtling you through. And you're just going through this tunnel. You can see the illumination of that greenish light just kind of following you down, like it's kind of aware you're doing this. And as you keep going, there is this nauseating shift in gravitational pull where you're suddenly not falling, you're starting to like rush straight forward. So the sensation of falling down and moving straight on becomes the same until you finally realize that you're running along what you'd consider to be the walls, but you're spacing these enormous jumps in between the various levels, or what used to be levels, until it becomes mostly solid, and now you're like running along this tunnel way, and then you just kind of come to the stop whenever the momentum finally ceases, and you've got like Dravis hunched over with elbows on his knees, just kind of staring straight ahead. He looks back to see everybody there. He's just like, I almost shit my armor. That was stupid.
And Riv has she's got orbiting fireballs around her, and she's like, woohoo!
Which resonates off, creating dozens of woohoos that actually change in... Yeah, but it changes in pitch and tone.
As the cult just kind of comes strolling in, waving his hand nonchalantly, going, And now you're one of us. Welcome to what Derek, what were we going with? Oh yes. The irregulars.
Yep. I mean, Ivar shits his armor on a daily basis, but
That's not armor. That's just a stinky ass bathrobe that apparently has got some magic thrown on it. Call it what it is.
But yeah, if Drew can see or hear, we got to ask him. Did Ivar jump off of the cliff with us?
We'll find out, I guess. He's going to be writing it in there.
Nope, I don't think he knows.
I don't think he heard what was going on.
I don't think he heard either.
All right, so Ivar is left to walk down the path.
Everybody leapt into the center chasm, Drew, if you can hear it.
well, if he follows his instincts, that would be to leap. So if he's going against his instincts, it would be to just take the
He
slow
just
way.
teleports.
Danger says this place is dangerous. Period. Like, high alert. So you attempt to teleport. Someone's a black hole, at least back to a special place. Jesus Christ.
He's just trying to excuse himself, I think.
Might be, yeah.
We need our crazy wizard. Oh.
Oh.
Damn. That's nuts. I don't know what to do, man. He's running a Mac, too, which means I'm out of my element.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on a Mac and I'm having no issues, so.
If you okay, yeah. I mean, that is exactly what Ivar would be doing, right? Instead of following us, his instincts would be to follow us and protect us. Instead, he's just like, nope, I'm leaving. I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna ditch. So that'll work.
Yeah, he is definitely doing his thing.
There's too much entropy. You know, Ivar generates his own chaos field.
Alright, so everybody's kind of standing now in this sort of luminous hallway that's kind of like pushing inward, and you can feel that it is, calling you guys forward. Yeah, we can switch back to cameras now since we're not having to worry about this.
Turn my lights back on.
Wink. There we go.
Oh my god, the stupid cat. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out.
The cat's really fluffy, though.
So we're staying amidst this hallway. We don't know exactly where there is. Now there's really not much of any one way to go except for that direction into whatever this is going to lead us to. And there's kind of a pulse that goes through. Noises are kind of like bouncing back and making odd, strange sounds. But you know, you're making your way. There is a sense of coming or encroaching on whatever that sense of wrongness is, and it's starting to kind of push at the corners of your mind for everybody. So just make a sanity check, everybody, for like at standard level, no penalty. Even drips.
Oh, jeez, here we go.
Barely.
Oh, Barrick's sanity is at 80%.
We want to be below sanity, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, good. Then I passed.
Ah, shit.
No. Get done, goofed.
Oh,
Oh, Bill.
No, my
Back to
sanity's
fail no matter what.
My sanity, ironically, is 95.
Woo! Lucky bastard. All right.
He's got fingertips going off the.
Mine is
Remember.
80.
Remember, he's
So-
so insane. He's sane.
Mine is 80, so I am outside of my range.
So, Barrick, you're walking along. You're all making it through. It's when you start to see this gliding hand gesture come through the smoky crystalline images behind the crystal wall itself, but just placating on that. It's almost like the light is like some sort of free moving sand, but it had the properties of smoke. So it's like moving along, but it's very grainy looking. And then it starts to become more and more formative. Now, you guys are walking along. You're not, like, nobody else is reacting to this in particular, but you're just kind of mesmerized by this look, and it's definitely an effeminate hand. After a while, you start to see images of a familiar face. There's a woman who's actually kind of staring at you from behind these crystalline structures, and can't wait to see. Oh my god. But there's this woman. She's got shoulder-length hair. It looks like it might have been brown at one point, and then you kind of get this like pang of remembrance as to who she is, and it comes right out of your past, of course. And she's just kind of staring at you as you're walking by, and there's this feeling like she's actually trapped in behind this crystal wall.
Well, I'm assuming you all don't see her, do you?
Nope. What, do we see her?
No, you see nothing, just the light.
So,
Yeah, I see her.
remember, don't trust your damn instincts. Nothing's fucking real until it tries to kill you. Moving
Well,
on.
the last time I saw my dead wife was when we were in hell, so I'm hoping she wasn't there, and I'm hoping she's not here, but...
You're handling your sanity break quite well, Barrick.
Well, thankfully it keeps taking the same form.
Fool me once, shame on me.
But,
Or I guess no, that's not the right phrasing.
I want that to be in character.
Sure.
So... yeah. This thing... it's talking.
And
You
what is
end
it?
up, yeah, you don't know what it is, but you know, it's like this image starts taking more and more formation. She becomes much more live and a lot more, tempting to look at. Like there is this sense of sensuality that's trying to pour through it, but there's also this sense of something else, something really weird that is behind it, because you can see something missing behind the eyes. Oh my god, what the hell? Thank you, Ken, for whatever that is. Oh my god.
Well, he fails his occult roll, so he just thinks everything's normal.
Since she's been holding onto these fireballs, she's gonna fire them off down the hallway, because they'll dissipate eventually. Since we're not in an encounter, they won't last for very long.
Well,
So yeah, Barrick's gonna find himself drawn more towards that crystalline structure where she is, and
Okay.
all of his senses are like raging to try and pick up some sound or smell or like feeling or whatever. And in the darkest corner of his mind is like, maybe she's been trapped here the whole time.
So Riv is gonna grab his arm. It's like, where you going, buddy?
And Colt kind of pops in front of him, puts his hand on his chest, going, "No. No. No. Bad Barrick. This is not good."
then you hear
Then
the
I-
echo in your head, Barrick. You just hear Barrick like that as it goes traveling down the actual hall,
What do you hear?
bouncing
You
off
cut
all the
out.
walls. He heard his name.
All right, fine. Let's head on. And he's just renewed vigor, leading down the direction in the that the voice went,
Yep.
acting as if he has been swayed by his companions to take this new direction.
While walking
So,
down this
what-
hall, yes.
Okay. I was gonna say while Barrick's walking, I'm gonna trail behind, kind of lean backwards and look at Colt, and just like kind of like do one of these towards Barrick.
Oh yeah, he's seeing shit. And then he
And
just like it just goes on, doesn't explain it.
No, I'm fine. It was a trick of the light.
Should we
Mhm.
carry
Come
him?
on, let's keep going.
Yeah. Nudge, nudge. See your dead wife, wink, wink.
So what Riv's gonna command her golem to do at this point is pick him up and keep him walking. It's like, you've been walking a long time. Scoop. 5-foot golem. You're in a princess carry, by the way.
Wait, what?
Um,
The golem is gonna pick up Barrick?
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
He ordered the golem to pick up Barrick.
Yeah.
Princess
don't-
Carrie.
What I don't know is if Barrick's going to let that happen.
What does the princess carry?
You don't
You
know
know-
what princess carry is?
Oh.
Yeah, just like scooped you off your feet. This is where you swoon.
Riv,
Well, this isn't the
Oh.
weirdest thing we've done.
call off your pet.
Not a pet. Keep walking.
Riv, let's be polite.
Oh, do you want to do piggyback ride? Sorry.
We're walking this way, aren't we?
Yep.
You're getting there regardless.
Travis
Why
is
does
like
that
turning
matter?
around, is like, what is going on?
John and the Colt's just like, I don't know anymore. And he just keeps on walking.
Come on, we got something to hunt here. Let's stop fucking around. And so
I agree with Dravis.
This tunnel snakes away until it finally encounters a point that more looks like a dead end to an extent, except for you can see the aperture pinched towards the center with only a hole large enough to fit a pinky through. And when you come up to approach it, shies away, leaving a separate chamber opened. And there is definitely some kind of an entity in here, but the silhouette is all you get at first, with the radiant light kind of shifting and moving at all angles from the various crystalline walls, which seem to have vaguely geometric shapes now. The creature doesn't seem to take immediate notice, but it seems to be sort of entrapped, in a way, in the center of it. But the chamber is mostly round. It's got a mild dome-like shape to it, and then you have the panels at the top of that dome kind of moving through, and the silhouette is amorphous, almost as if it could be bipedal, but it's not making itself clear.
I got you.
And the music.
So, once you guys enter the
I
room,
meant to
that
ask,
sense
is
of
Void with us, or is Void...
no, he stayed up at the top.
outside?
He's basically
Okay.
sustaining whatever this is from the outside.
Okay. Huh.
Ah,
Is that our quarry?
I mean, I guess.
When you all step into the room, there is a strange sense of cohesion that kind of comes into it, the silhouette becoming much more solid. When it was just
Oh.
originally black and vaporous, it's now starting to create shape and form.
Just because, again, this is not instinct. This is absolute, first. This is actually good because Riv is, being impulsive, which is not instinct. It's just, hey, what's the first thing that came to mind? And the first thing that came to mind, she said, Sparky, bear hug.
You're talking to Gollum?
Yeah, I've decided to name this, call him Sparky for right now.
Okay. So in this case, it
And
kind
so-
of looks over.
Whoa!
Yeah.
And there goes our litmus test. Like,
What's
Colt
the-
is just becoming so indifferent to Riv's behavior that it's just like, and here we go.
All right. So the golem lurches forward on command and goes to grapple this thing. And once it does that, once it comes into contact with it, there is this like shudder that it makes. Not like it's moving, but like the material that it has kind of like displaces a couple of times, and you see it bounce back off.
All right. Physical attacks won't be need to be.
How did the silhouette react to that?
You can see that it's still slowly taking shape, almost like, in your sense, the way you feel about a cult is like it's waking up from a dream.
That's ominous.
So, and Barrick's got the the cannon.
So is it
Now, or do we need it to do its thing?
to coalesce? Oh, it's like crap. Fuck. Give me a second. Gotta roll a d19. 19 for the occult. He's just, and let's roll tactics in addition to that,
Okay.
because he's taking it from a magical attack standpoint.
Yep.
Okay, come on. $22 for the tactics, so 19 on the occult and 22 for the tactics.
It becomes evident that if there's any resembling like truth to your theory that this is entropy manifest with intelligence, then you're going to have to counter it with something, and then something else snaps into place. The traps that you have been laying out, these prisons, they are hyperformative geometric prisons. What is geometry if nothing more than a highly sophisticated form of pure order? And the trouble is, contact with it will probably be dangerous. Just having seen the golem just react the way that it did. So, magically speaking, you have to be extraordinarily aware that whatever the entity could consider itself to be, this outsider is obviously tapped into the raw chaos energy that it's come from. And
Can he conjecture to maybe solidify it into a more material form?
possibly, and you would know that structure has its flaws, where chaos kind of has only one flaw. It's chaos. But it doesn't have any others. Meaning that whenever things unpredictable, it's only predictably unpredictable, and therefore can't manifest anything that you could actually use to attack or kill or strike. So if it's formed, or if it becomes formed, either you force it into doing so or trick it to be that way. That's your best shot. And then it will actually weaken itself down trying to sustain a form that it's not built to have.
It says, well, my instinct is to run. Oh, fuck me. So don't let it touch.
Crystals
Don't let
on our side or not?
Sort of. This thing is pure chaos entropy. Don't let it touch you. We already saw what Sparky McGee did. 2, why has the music changed?
Because it finally snaps out of that dream.
Is it worth trying to shatter the crystals?
No. And he goes, not. He thinks about Barrick's thought for half a second. What would his first assessment? Were the crystals influencing or trapping it?
This is meant to actually cause it to be a trap. They're minuscule traps that can be launched at distance.
No. They're traps. To keep it here? Or traps rots?
No, traps that are just like what your original prototype was, to entrap the entity within the crystal itself. You guys were then going to rehouse it in the
Phantom
shoebox.
Zone.
This is
We were
Phantom
gonna take it
Zone.
in a portable.
This is what Void is doing, and then he's like, no time, not all. Fuck, doing it. He says, shit, gonna do it anyway, and he just kind of goes, doom. Does it work? And then he is going to use correspondence. And spirit and prime. No, forces, correspondence, and end time.
Okay.
To combat it into, well, not combat it. Well, he's going to combat it. It's going to happen into a more physical form. But what he's doing is he's piggybacking off of all the traps. So what he's doing is he's casting it like this, but in reality, all the magic is refracting off his hands into the trap to kind of coalesce like a net around the entity to force it into form. So it's basically using what Void has already created,
right,
to enhance the spell. So reflecting, enhancing, and then smashing into. So he's just like and just kind of directing the magical energies to kind of slam it into existence. But he's using the traps themselves to enhance that effect. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're just trying to basically force it into an actual material structure. That's fine. So make your roll, sir. While that's going on, I need combat sense awareness from everybody to determine what we got going on here.
D10.
Fuck yes.
That's how Barrick's been thinking about the whole time. For
yeah,
I mean, in a year or so of our game time is like we're basically making the proton pack and the little ghost trap thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like that in a sense. Only the Ghostbusters would be so fucking annihilated. Hate to say it, they're like some of my favorite people.
You, Bill, your plus is higher than my result, or is the same as my result.
Yep, he's pretty high.
Man,
Oof, Barrick going last. That's unusual.
that's
Okay.
I rolled like 3 die rolls, and I think they've all been ones.
Yeah, well, at least it's with the initiative. I have to give you that.
62.
He's low. He's got the
on.
cannon. He's kind of like waiting for a shot.
What's my target?
9.
9. Okay. Is this extended or?
It's not an extended roll, not unless you want to make it one.
It's still coalescing, so he does want to make an extended one.
Okay.
Okay. He's going to use one of his luck to switch that 1.
Sounds good.
Okay. So he's got 1 success.
Oh, but this is a spell though, not a will check.
Oh, spell? Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd have to spend SFR equal to the amount of dice you were rolling. You would like bleed your SFR completely dry and over multiple rounds.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, we're not doing that. So we're gonna say I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna use a total of 5 luck to give myself 3 successes.
Okay.
Because he's in a freak out mode.
Yeah. So 3 successes. All right. So there's this odd coalescent force that comes into the center of the room, forcing it into this weird crystalline form for just a minute, and it holds into the shape, and you can see it writhe against that structuring. While it doesn't completely dematerialize back into its vaporous form, it does actually hold something much more solid after the fact. But you feel something totally discouraging whenever you're actually putting the arcane energy together. The moment that your energy, the arcane like manifestation of what you're trying to do, manifests, making contact with it, being the fact that it is in fact sentient, the moment that begins to happen, you start to feel its deterioration. The raw, paracausal energy that it has is ripping the arcane forces apart. So the moment you actually go to do that, it sustains, but it doesn't last for nearly as long as you were hoping. So something about it is definitely causing a disruption. It stands in complete and total opposition to even the standard forces of nature. which is probably what your mother meant by it's obviously much worse than what was going to be expected for. At least she hinted at that. While you were constructing that spell, did you have something else you were going to throw at it? Since I know you've got at least one more ranged, yeah?
Well, he's got 3 melee attacks.
Right, so you're going to be using that 2 more like spells, I'm assuming, or are you going to hold it there with that and do something else, or?
Let's see. Let me take a look at my personalities.
Bring out his card deck.
So as he does that and everything else, he just kind of looks at his ring and goes, "Fuck," and then crunches his hand to get like real tight, and you just see the armor pop up, and then so he splits into. Let's see, what is it? Yeah, he uses the ring. Okay, what do I have with the ring? Rope depending on the melee. Yeah,
I've got a plan D.
I'm glad to hear that.
Acts as an SR berry to split. Number of personalities equals the number of actions possible. So he has 2 actions possible. So he splits into 2 more personalities. And that's Buddy. And sorry.
Derek's just checking the sights and everything on his
He's running PCI.
never before used, one shot, don't miss.
Buddy, and so all of a sudden you see him, boom, and he goes full sinister armor. A screaming little demon child bursts out of his chest, and then from
Buddy all armored.
Yeah, so it's like terrifying. It's like a terrifying Chucky doll now, and with like the jaw like unhinged and glowing for like the balefire.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just hear from the background, "When darkest night calls upon the land, call me. My name is Dawnbreaker." And instead of dark black armor, you just see this golden knight just kind of stroll out of the cult. And that's his 3 actions.
All right, so he splits up. Dravis is up next, where he he ends up just pulling his rune lock and starting to lay down fire on this thing. Just pow, pow, pow. The sound reverberating off of everything else is very disruptive. It actually causes him to shake his head a little bit whenever it's going on. The bullets seem to actually make contact, but there's something that is disrupting them. So you can see that there's some damage done, but it's not moving very quickly and it's not capable of dodging. Whatever the cult has done has caused it to be sort of restricted for the time being, at least for now. Well, he's just sort of like, shit, that fucking hurts, like that. He ends up sliding the rune lock back into its holster, trying to shake his head off. Let's see, real quick. Woo, yeah. And while this thing is still holding its position, you can see the various tendrils kind of like seeping out of various cracks. It's beginning to expand. There's a central trunk of a body. You can see several shifting mouths that are beginning to form towards the middle of that trunk, and where they have these enormous tongues that are beginning to emerge as well. It is becoming somewhat bipedal in its formation now. There are legs that are beginning to sprout towards the bottom, and then one arm touching to that crystalline floor. Well, one of the mouths opens up and it starts whipping this really elongated tongue, comes lashing towards each and every one of you. Although, I gotta see exactly who. Let's see here. We got Dravis, Bill, Scott, Riv, I think that's only the 4 of you, right? Because Ivor would be the 5th, wouldn't it?
What about Soltara stayed with
Yeah, he
Lloyd,
did.
huh?
And then your golem, that's 5.
Right.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Okay.
I like that the visualization decided to do tentacle things.
Right?
Kind of an interesting interlude, right? Oh my god. Alright, so Riv, Barrick, I need you guys to make dodge rolls. I need Riv to make 2.
Dodge.
Hold on, not that.
Do I have the option of a gun kata style dodge?
It's not a gun.
All right. That's just why I'm asking.
Yep, nah, it's not a firearm.
Grab your
Otherwise,
crotch.
I would
There we
totally
go.
give it to you.
I rolled a 9.
My
Yay.
2 rolls are at the top right.
Nice.
I see them.
26, 24.
What other things besides your golem have you got going?
I was nothing else. I was prepping my next ability, but I hadn't used it yet.
Okay. And your armor? Since you're wearing the suit?
Yeah. What part?
Well, it's going to be torso and your left leg.
Okay, both the torso and left leg are 55.
55? Alright, so you get smacked a couple of times. Now, luckily enough, it's not a penetrating attack, but you get sent whirling off to the side. You end up crashing up against the wall and the rest of it. You batter, but you are only minorly bruised. There's just a sense of, like, an ache from where the impact of the tongue hit, and you can see the armor is, like, sustaining itself against the impact, but there's kind of almost like this rising steam that's coming from it. Although it doesn't look like it's corroding anything, it just looks like it smacked you up a good one.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I think gross.
Gross.
Alright.
Ew, gross.
Riv, your turn to retaliate.
Okay, so I need to do an aside because I want to ask you some questions about what my
Yeah,
character
and
is.
Scott got smacked around as well. What was your armor too, Scott? I forgot to actually add you in there. Sorry.
For where?
This would have been sort of at your, like, torso and waist.
Orso's 88.
Yeah. So you get smacked, you get kind of rolled backward as well, but again, not a penetrating attack, really.
Cool. So, psychokinesis. How powerful is that? As far as like, I have command of like kinetic, right? I can pick things up with it.
Mm-hmm.
How big can I pick things up? Like, how heavy can things be?
Well, what's the level in this power that you have right now?
What do you mean? Like my gauntlets level?
Yeah.
It's 8.
Yeah. You can actually pick up the size of you could pick up something that would weigh equal to a truck, if you really wanted to press it.
How about my golem?
Your golem would be easy peasy.
Excellent. Okay.
Pick up your golem and
So here's what I want to do. Here's what my plan is. I'm gonna lay it out for you, and then tell me what I need to do.
Okay.
So the first thing is her action will be to activate her rune, and she got the 5 way up there, which is psychokinesis is what I'd like to activate. And what I'd like to do is, since I have melee master, I'd like to shoot. I'd like to target basically one spot and hit it with my magical bolts
Yep.
as many times as possible. I want to do. I want my golem to do a Superman. Basically, what I want to do is have the golem start running to gain some momentum, and then I want to pick him up and then throw him right as my bolts hit the same spot. So basically, I'm trying to weaken that one spot and then have him like
And then-
Superman through it. Yeah.
Sure. That's perfectly fine. All you'd have to do is exert your will, and the golem will follow, so it'll know what your plan is.
But
All you
that
have
part I
you
understood,
just go
yeah.
boop, 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 like that. You launch your bolts, so make the attack for your bolts, and then you just have to make the final attack for launching your golem with the psychokinetic reinforcement.
Okay, so first you taught me that I need to do my will plus my skill rank in melee to do my. That's how I get my bonus for my fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my skill rank is 8. So my will is 7, so it's 7 plus 8.
Yeah, 15.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay, so I do 3 shots of that.
Okay.
Oh, that one exploded.
Nice, 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 nice.
I'm gonna re-roll that one.
Okay.
Equals 8. Alright, that's better.
Yep. So 21
okay, so
on
that's
the
my
next
3
one.
shots.
All right.
And then my psychokinesis, like, bullshit.
Right. So
Do I
what
have
you're
to
going to
roll for that?
basically do is you're going to make a similar strike of a sort. The difference is that I get to roll for your golem here to see how it can help you turn itself into a bullet. It's co-skilling.
And so, do I roll will
Synergy.
plus skill rank, or what?
You're going to be rolling the same thing you've been doing before, because psychokinesis is another kind of skill where you're using your will and your melee to basically launch something. Difference is that you just have a lot more leeway as to what you can launch.
I'm gonna re-roll that one.
Okay.
8, 7, 6. That's better. Okay. So, maths.
Right. You've got 23. It rolls a 9, which puts it up to a 31. 32. Yeah, 32.
So, cinematically, what I'd like to do is say, it's like, Sparky, Iron Man, or Superman, sorry. And he would start, like, running and then trying to get along the wall so he can get some height so that I can get, kinetic damage down kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
While I crouch from my roll that sent me sprawling and just...
Right, so it runs from center of the stage here, for lack of better terms, goes right towards the wall. You go pew pew pew, launch your bolt straight at this thing that is beginning to form in the center. You hear it go clunk 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 up the wall and does a push off doing a spiral, and you're like, whoom, like that. But the only thing is that it becomes surrounded by all kinds, because psychokinesis is all of those kinetic forces wrapped up into one, not just telekinetic. So you can see like heat, electricity, and raw force just coursing around it, and he just goes flash gliding directly into your target.
If it does damage, it does a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's going to smack this thing dead on. So you have the weight and the rest of it. So what's the psychokinesis and the damage for that alone?
Yeah, psychokinesis is my intelligence plus 32 damage plus 10 damage per level of the gauntlet. So
Right, so 80.
right off the
Yeah.
bat. And my intelligence is 7.
So 87 plus will's that's 94.
That's
Wow.
just the raw power of the thing.
Yes.
For the kinetic force.
Yeah.
Golem.
So you have that hitting, and to give you an idea, so you're pushing it with enough force. Like I said, you could move the size of a large truck, you know what I mean? So this is only about a third of that weight, so you can really powerhouse that strike. This thing weighs easy 700 to 800 pounds just by itself. So you're launching it like a bullet plus the additional, right? And it's shooting across somewhere close to like 40 feet to get to where it needs to be because of the height and angle. Kind of used all that trigonometry that I used in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, you basically fucking barrel stuff your golem into its chest. Oh, man.
I would love to see that animated.
Right? That'd be insane.
Because, the bullets have to hit the shield thing or whatever to start weakening it, and then it just busts through it.
Yeah. Well, in this case, you go like that. You can feel the power of it. He actually does a spiral through the air. because you're just wanting to create as much momentum and kinetic force as possible, the impact is like a thunderclap going off right next to you inside of this chamber. There is a subtle explosion, and only subtle in the sense that it is not large enough to actually cause any serious damage to the people in here, but the blast back from it definitely causes everybody to get like that wind rush going past them, you know, and you're just kind of like this at this point. There is some debris coming out from where the impact site is. You can tell where you originally centered. It looks like you got your spot. A lot of it seems to be kind of minorly damaged on the outside. I mean, it did something, because it's no longer in the it's no longer in the center. It's pushed backward in the adjacent way. Your golem comes up from, you know, like the knee pose, coming all the way up, and it's got like just rising smoke coming off of its outer armor as it comes standing up from the impact point. All right, Barrick, you just kind of like squinting a little bit after that valiant display of raw power, and then you're up.
So I want to tactics to see if it's ready for me to use this big gun I've got. If it's not, I'm gonna flip it on the back and pull the plasma and try and aim for that same exact spot.
Okay. So you're go ahead and roll your tactics, but also make me a sanity check one more time, please.
All right. So we'll do tactics and sanity. It's well under my sanity.
Good job.
Kept it together this time.
Yeah, it's gonna mean something here. All right, that's gonna be sad. We're gonna have to cut it off after this particular point, but yeah, you start to feel like something is about to happen, but it stops. It stops midpoint, and it doesn't occur. Tactically, you know for sure that it is far too strong right now to trust that the trap will work.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
Bigger than that, but yeah.
That's so fucking perfect.
I love it. I love it. All right, so
Yeah, I want
Eric's
to
gonna go.
know that D has not
Not
seen
ready
it
yet.
So.
Put the big thing down, plasma out, and target that exact spot that Riv hit several times.
Okay.
If
Let her
that
rip.
looks like a good target.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like she did some damage to it. So you focusing on its weak point is not at all badly tactical whatsoever. What was it per bolt on that? I can't remember.
Well, I'm gonna just do 3 shots instead of the 30,
Okay.
but it is 60 damage per.
Gotcha.
So
Full
shots is a 23. Rifle is a 4. That's a +3 accuracy.
You're +3 accuracy.
Oh, and a fail. Alright, I'm gonna re-roll that first one.
Okay. Nice. So that's actually a 38, 34, 37. Wow. So you're just like that. You take these shots, they make impact. The residual damage seems to be slight at best. If they definitely make impact, there's definitely a sense of heat and something like smoldering that occurs from the wound. But you can see it basically hunker down and try to like guard it. But there doesn't seem to be as much like chutzpah behind it that you were hoping for.
Yeah, I was just hoping it's plasma versus like a physical round that perhaps there'd be something different. All right, well then I'm gonna, for my second attack for ranged, I'm gonna do my arcane capacitor.
Gotcha. What was the
And
AR on
see-
what's the armor piercing on that plasma rifle, if any? I don't know if it has it or not. Does it say?
It is AP5.
AP5. Okay, right on. That tells me what I need to know.
Okay, so we'll check target 7. And I'm gonna spend 3 luck to bump that 1 out of being a fail, and then bump the 2 6s up to 7.
Okay.
And I have Iron Will, so that gives me 4.
Yep.
3 successes plus a 4th.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go full 30 at that spot.
Alrighty. Roll that
So it's
beautiful
like
beam footage.
Tick tick tick. All right.
Just bursting it.
And how do you want me to roll this out?
You're just gonna roll it because it's a burst. You're making 1 continuous shot, so make it
Okay.
count. Nice, nice. That's exactly what you needed.
So my arcane capacitor says, will check target 7. Each success is plus 10 arcane damage applied to that round.
Oh, really?
So I had 4 successes.
Damn. All right, so you're like, screw it. Like that, you just let it go, and there's this stream of plasma bolts just ripping into this thing. Now, of course, it's starting to shift and move, trying to be avoided, but of course, you're very good at what you do, so you don't miss many. You guessed that probably 10 out of your full burst must have hit it. And yeah, it looks like it hurts, but it's still moving around, which is a testament to this thing's raw power and ability for sure.
And that's when Ivar will teleport inside of it and pull a Thanos. Like,
Pull an
through the
Ant-Man?
anus. Yeah, Ant-Man and Thanos. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Did anybody watch the What If?
Yeah, I
I
did.
haven't seen it.
The zombie one, man. That's what I was thinking of whenever they were talking about that.
Oh, the one this week, that ending. Whew.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Well,
man.
it's good. We got
Yes.
some good cinematic moments in there.
Mm-hmm. You guys are starting to rip this thing up. It will be its turn in the next 2 rounds, obviously. But,
It'd be awesome.
yowzas.
D,
Hmm.
if someday we are able to program a variable like screen that that showed us like in Final Fantasy X, you know, where it'd show you like who's coming up next, and like if we did some big attack, our thing would come down, and then we'd see
Yeah.
when the enemy is coming up. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yes, that would be awesome, actually. Quite awesome indeed.
Do 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 do.
Yes, indeed.
I look forward to that every week. Because after all the epic music, it's like the most simple, like derpy little sound.
Because it's just the lobby. Yeah, so I definitely made this thing a bastard. Kind of on purpose.
Well, we need Ivar. We need our full team to be able to really do some damage.
Wouldn't hurt. It would not hurt.
Although having Travis there is nice.
Yeah. He's got some interesting shit going on. If he can't use his rune lock, he's going to be... Yeah, definitely do that.
I'm down to 114 rounds with my plasma rifle.
You have to use like mundane ammo soon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I started with 300, so
Yeah,
you know.
you've had to use it a few times.
That's good. It's nice to go with something that's terrifying.
beefy.
Yeah, I hope it's terrifying. I'm trying.
Well, we're so used to hitting solid things, so.
Hey, Berica spent 5 luck. That,
Yeah.
I spent.
I think I've gone
4
multiple sessions without spending any luck. So
You know,
Well-
that'd be a really cool, like epic advantage is luck banking.
Yeah.
Like up to a certain point, obviously you couldn't do it forever,
Right.
but like
You could like sacrifice luck
overdrive it.
in an immediate session and have it used like it'd be
oh,
make
that'd
it,
be even better. It's like,
Yeah,
hey,
you
I'm
could-
gonna.
you just hold it for that one session, but when you come back, you have that as a separate bank of luck that you could employ later on up to a maximum
Side
point.
deck.
Right.
I could see that being a Riv thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Maybe
I
that
feel
could
like-
maybe that could be an advantage.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Not just
I'm thinking
lucky,
that we
but
should, like-
it's.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
I
if
almost
you
feel like
if you take
Lucky
that
has to
trait,
be a guaranteed.
if you take lucky, you can't take that trait.
Mm,
If you
that's
take that
good.
trait, you can't have lucky.
Make them mutually exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting. You know what I mean? That would be
So
really
you-
cool.
You can either have lucky or you can bank your luck.
Yeah, in the fight, you are able to do more stuff with your luck, whereas the other one is you have to plan ahead.
The advantage is called press your luck.
No whammies, no whammies.
No.
whammies.
Man alive. Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's a cool advantage.
That would be a
Yeah.
cool advantage. That'd be ridiculous.
Add a few advantages and disadvantages around luck because it's such a unique like facet of this game. And what's weird is that unlike every other advantage I've seen so far, it has meta like consequences. What I mean by that is that like our luck recharges per like session basically.
Mhm.
So being able to manipulate per session stuff and being able to like you can add specific advantages and disadvantages that are like, you know, for one encounter you have double luck, for the next one you don't have any luck kind of thing. Stuff like that.
Well, luck is so meta because, like, let's say you had a drug that's like, it's gonna make me extra fast now, but then I'll have the withdrawal and I'll be slower. Like, that's an in-game thing you could understand as a character. Like, I'm gonna shoot this up and then I'll be really fast, but then I'm gonna take time to recover. Or I'm gonna be really strong, but then I'll take time to recover. But luck is, yeah, it's pure meta.
It's us. It's the player character exerting our
Yeah.
will on the game, which is kind of
I
cool.
like it.
Yeah, and having it as a limited option makes it even more interesting.
And that's why it'd be cool if we could like maybe some of the things you could do with luck is make it more potent. Like when you re-roll, it adds plus to the thing, or if you up it adds +2 kind of thing. But each one of those advantages to be balanced would have to be really strong, like level power 10 kind of thing. Like you'd have to spend a lot of stuff to get into that. I feel like. I mean, luck is just so OP if we do anything with it.
What's if you build a rogue in D&D correctly for like min-max purposes, it's like infinite re-rolling. It's like you never miss because you roll an attack. Oh, you got a 1. Okay, I'm gonna
Oh.
use my re-roll. Okay,
You know,
now you
a
get to
good,
choose which of the 2 attacks that you re-roll. Okay,
And-
like
Another one that was good for luck, an advantage or a disadvantage. I can't no, I don't know which, but making it so that you can only roll. Maybe this would be a disadvantage. You can only roll on defensive, or you can only roll on offensive, like
Right.
re-rolls, or you can only use luck on offensive rolls or defensive rolls. Meaning, if you take this, whatever this is, that like you just said, Scott, if someone attacks me, like, and I dodge and I get a 1, if I had this thing where I can't use it defensively, then I'm screwed. Whereas, maybe it's more potent if I use it offensively. I could roll.
Or
more.
we start considering advantages as multi-tier. So
I think we already have
lo-
that.
level 1 luck is this. Level 2 luck does this.
Oh, I see
level-
what you're saying. Like each time you put another rank into it, it gets a different effect.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you could
Yeah,
cycle it through depending on what was going on.
You
Yeah.
could actually have it in the CRB luck, like 1, luck 2, luck 3, luck 4, kind of thing, so that someone can just spec into it immediately.
Because
or they can level it up.
because that way it right off the bat doesn't give a complete meta to the beginning character,
That's true. Yeah.
right? So you first
like you must start at level 1.
you must start at level 1 and you have to buy in to level 2, level 3. Each
like
one
that.
is the prerequisite of the other.
That's cool. Maybe if Drew is able to be here next week, we can continue, or we can maybe do some more meta, like world building. I always enjoy that. I definitely,
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I definitely want the next phase of this fight to include Drew.
Yeah.
I don't want him without because he's super strong, but B, it's a really cool fight, and I don't want him to miss out.
Yeah.
A little bit of selfishness. I want my character to live, but a little bit I want Drew to be included.
At least you're being honest, you know.
At the same time, it's a win-win for you because it's more work towards the CRP. Which, by the way, Scott, I think we've said it in text, but I gotta say, verbally, you're awesome. Like, holy crap! I remember we were talking about it on Sunday, I think, when we were hanging out, and we're like, yeah, we get on there, and there's just this like massive wall of text after you've been typing for like 4 hours, and then you're like, oh, by the way, tag.
Yeah. Dude, that
Yeah.
that overwhelmed my ass so fast. I'm like, what the fuck is all this? Like,
I didn't realize that threads don't like ping anybody.
Yeah.
And so I like started the thread on like health, healing, and dying. And then I was like, well, they're not weighing in, so I'll just keep typing. And then I was like, oh, it says I'm the only one in the thread. Hey,
Yeah.
everybody.
You're like, look at this, and I'm like, wow. Like,
So really what you got, yeah, is like 4 hours of me like doing other stuff and then being like,
And then
oh,
just having
and
ideas, yeah.
Oops.
It was really
Yeah.
funny though.
But I suppose it's better than you getting a ping every 30 seconds that, oh, Scott
That's
added
true,
another
too.
sentence. Scott added another sentence.
Yep, in a manner of speaking, that is for sure.
And at the end, you're able to too long didn't read it too, so that was cool.
Hey,
Yeah.
so Scott, and pursuing your ever need to expand the CRB, could you write up a character template
Or
for the classes, for the races?
I think he's
the different-
working on an archetype template,
Yeah, he has
actually.
an arc.
yeah, I have one.
Okay. Do you think you can send that to me, please?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Well, and to our audience, such as it is, thanks for stopping by. Had a good time.
Mhm.
All right, everybody, I need all your good vibes.
Yep.
2 interviews tomorrow.